Hello, welcome to this update. Let's see what has changed in the severe weather and take a look at the next few days. So we are still at an enhanced risk there, but there has been some changes to the enhanced risk. The tornado threat is a little bit wider from Iowa to southern Michigan, the 5%, and the 2% from central Iowa to northwestern Ohio. And then they also added the 2% for New York there and parts of Lake Erie. So be aware. Let's see. The wind threat is the same, but they added a wider area of hatched 30%. So the whole 30% area is hatched now. So let's see, there's the other 15% showing the slight risks and the 5%. The hail threat, they added a 15% to in Iowa, northern Illinois and Wisconsin there, and southeastern Minnesota. And they also added a 5% in the northeast there, so be aware. And let's see. Severe thunderstorms are possible this afternoon and evening across parts of the Midwest, Central High Plains, and Lower Great Lakes and Arizona. The greatest potential for severe gusts is over eastern Iowa into Illinois and Indiana. So let's see here if they say something. So let's see. They talk about the consensus here, but let's see. Regardless, an active severe weather event is expected for this region with potential for isolated instances of significant damaging winds in the Midwest. So be aware. So let's see, for New York and Pennsylvania there, and the Central High Plains. So they say scattered high-based thunderstorm developments expected this afternoon in western Nebraska, southward into parts of northeast Colorado and western Kansas. The combination of deeply mixed boundary layer and sufficient cape and 30 plus knots of western mid-level flow will pose a risk of locally damaging wind gusts in the stronger cells. So be aware in those areas, in Arizona too, and all those areas. So let's see. For tomorrow, we didn't see earlier, they have another margin in Arizona, a slight from northern Texas to Nebraska, and a slight from Ohio to Vermont, and this marginal from Colorado to New Hampshire, so a big area. Let's see, tornado threat 2% in the northeast and 2% in the plains tomorrow. Wind threat in all the areas 15-5%, and hail just 2 areas of 5% and 15% in Nebraska and Kansas. So this for tomorrow. Strong to severe thunderstorms are possible for central plains across the mid-Mississippi and Ohio valleys into the northeast on Tuesday. Greater severe thunderstorm potential is anticipated in the central plains vicinity from the upper Ohio Valley into the northeast. So be aware. And day 3 here is just 2 marginals, one in parts of the high plains and another from northern Virginia to Maine, and that other one, from New Mexico to Wyoming. So let's see, probabilistic just 5%. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms are possible from the northern mid-Atlantic into New England as well as the central high plains on Wednesday. So be aware. Let's see. Nothing for day 4 through 8, but the fire threat, there's no areas of elevated, but they have the potential for isolated dry thunderstorms in parts of the west there, so be aware. And for tomorrow too, some isolated dry thunderstorms possible from Oregon to Utah. So let's see here the map for today, tomorrow, and day 3 flash. So let's see. Excessive rainfall, a slight risk in the Midwest today, a small marginal in parts of Massachusetts, and a marginal from Missouri to Vermont, and another marginal from California to New Mexico. So let's see. Day 2, another slight from Missouri to Pennsylvania, and a marginal from Arizona to Vermont. Day 3, a slight in New Mexico and Colorado, and a marginal from Utah to Maine. And day 4, a slight in North Carolina and southernmost Virginia, and a marginal in the southwest, and a marginal from Texas to southern Delaware, I think. So day 5, just 2 marginals. So let's see precipitation for today, precipitation for tomorrow. You have the inches there. Precipitation for after tomorrow. Precipitation for day 4, I think it's Friday. Precipitation for day 5, Saturday. Precipitation for Sunday and for Monday. And for all the days here, a few hot spots on the east coast and in the southwest, and other areas in Canada too, and the southeast, in Mexico of course. So be aware. Let's see. Here, so day 3 through 7 hazards, we have severe weather there, flooding possible in those pink areas, heavy rain on the east coast, hazardous heat all throughout the south and the east, and hazardous heat in parts of the northwest too, and some heavy rain in the southwest, and heavy rain in Alaska too. So be aware. And day 8 through 14, let's see. Some excessive heat too, parts of the west, and heavy precipitation and rapid onset drought. Yeah, basically that's the heat, the heavy rain, and the drought probability, and even some high winds in the west there. It shows day 8 through 14. So let's see. The heat for today, up to 108 in parts of Kansas, very dangerous heat, 100s through the plains in the east, in the southwest. Wait, is this day 1? Yes, okay, here. Day 2, for tomorrow, still some 100s in the plains, on the east, in the southwest. Day 3, still some 100s, many 90s, and 100s in the southwest, and all the way up into Washington. Day 4, the days on top there, so still some 90s and 100s in the northwest, in the southwest, in the southeast some 90s. Day 5, still many 90s, 100s in the southwest, and 90s in Florida. Day 6, still some 100s in the southwest, and some 90s and 80s and 70s in other areas, and some 100s in the west. And day 7, let's see, a little bit cooler there in the central areas, some 90s in the south, 100s on the west. So let's see the maximum wind gust probabilities for today. So this does not take into consideration the severe weather there. So there'll be much greater gusts than this with those storms. But let's see here. So a little bit windier in parts of the Rockies, Southern California, and over the Great Lakes, to a little bit windier. So this is until 1 p.m. tomorrow. Let's see what else. We have some temperature outlooks, day 6 to 10, a big cool down in parts of the central US forecast, some below average temperatures coming there, and a warm up there, still hot on the west and in the south and other areas. So day 8 through 14, still a little bit below average, and some areas of above average. Day 6 through 10, precipitation, mostly above average in the south and below average in the north. Let's see, day 8 through 14, still some above averages in many areas, and below average in parts of the north central. So let's see some models here. So let's see. So this is the her. So let's see. Wait. Significant tornado perimeter is higher in parts of Iowa, southern Minnesota, and some other areas. Let's see a past run here. So let's see. So 5Z, no, wait, let's see. So at about 0Z Tuesday, so 0Z Tuesday is like this evening, so about 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. 6 Tuesday, if I'm not wrong. So they have some huge tornado parameters in northern Illinois there, and this is right where the line will be passing. I have to check the timing there of the storms, but they will be around that area. But this could have some QLCS tornadoes there. What that basically is like tornadoes embedded within the line of storms. So please be careful there with that potential. So let's see about 2Z, still some tornado parameters there. So and about 4Z here, they start to diminish. So this is already by like 11 p.m. So let's see something else here. Some capes. So first, surface-based cape. So let's put there around 0Z, where we were before. It shows most amounts of cape in Iowa there. So those areas about 4 to 5,000 joules per kilogram in parts of Iowa. But the storms will be over Illinois already. So that cape in Iowa won't be used very much. But it shows a lot of cape in Illinois too, and it shows like a gap there in southern Wisconsin and Illinois, and that gap will most likely be where the storms will be like eating all that cape up. So let's see a little bit earlier, like still shows some tremendous amounts of cape. So this is still like 0Z, but a little bit earlier. Shows more cape in Illinois and those areas. So let's see, that was surface base capes. So let's see mixed layer cape, the most important type of cape in my opinion. So let's see, shows a lot in Iowa and in Illinois too, but around just 4,000 and maybe a little bit more. Most unstable cape, let's see, shows a lot there too, about like this evening, most in Iowa, but a lot in Illinois and Indiana too. So let's see the updraft helicity, like I showed you this morning. So let's put like, so by 0Z it doesn't have much, it has some helicity there in parts of Wisconsin, but it doesn't have much. Let's put until 10Z tomorrow, until the end of this run. So by 10Z tomorrow it shows some huge tracks there of helicity, and what this indicates that these storms might go on like a little bit later in the evening. So this is 10Z. Let's see by 5Z, it's still there, and 11Z is still there. So this is 3Z. So I'm just searching for the time that these storms will fire. So this is 2Z, 1Z. So they might start like this evening around 1Z into 2Z, the most damaging storms. So let's see here. The latest her. So it has many storms going through Ontario and New York there now, and those already started. It shows some showers in the Rockies in the west and some storms forming in Nebraska later this evening there, where they have the slight risk. And it doesn't show much in southern Arizona, but there will be some storms, and in Mexico too, be aware. But there, in the main area, uh, this line some storms start forming like central Wisconsin, and then this line starts forming southern Wisconsin into Illinois. So this was projected before to form in Iowa and then move into Illinois, but it's now forming in Wisconsin. So this by 1Z Tuesday, like this evening. So like I showed you there, so the line keeps going and goes through Chicago there, affecting very heavily, and then the line kind of keeps going like south and east, and then it affects Indiana a lot, parts of southern Michigan, and goes into Ohio. So be aware, but I think the most damaging part of this storm is right before it gets to Chicago, like northern Illinois there. So let's see some other things here. So let's take a look at Canada now, how it's doing. So this is the thunderstorm potential for Monday, for 2 days. So they have like general risk of thunderstorms through Alberta and British Columbia, and a severe storms possible in parts of Alberta and kind of eastern British Columbia. So be aware, some heavy rain, large hail, and strong gusts. This mainly this evening, late afternoon. And they have here more detailed maps. So this is by 8 p.m. this evening. They have a large hail risk in parts of Alberta and like west eastern British Columbia, but mainly Alberta there. So let's see, and then this is by tomorrow Tuesday. There'll be more storms there tomorrow Tuesday, so be aware. It shows many pop-up storms there tomorrow, like 2 p.m. in the afternoon in parts of eastern British Columbia, but it's mainly in Alberta there. This is mainly in Alberta. So this is the thunderstorm threat for tomorrow Tuesday. It shows severe possible in parts of Alberta and even to northern Alberta there, northeastern Alberta, some severe possible too, and the yellow area for general risk of thunderstorms. So some large hail, strong gusts, and heavy rain tomorrow. Be aware. And then after this goes away, we'll get back into this ridge again that might warm up the temperatures more there. We might get into the 30s in parts of southern Alberta and British Columbia. So it will likely warm up after this. So this is by Thursday, July 18th. So let's see for Eastern Canada now. In Central Canada, they have the general risk of thunderstorms through Ontario there, into Quebec, and even to Atlantic Canada. That's off the map. But they have the severe potential through southern Ontario all the way into like New Brunswick and eastern Quebec. So some heavy rains, strong winds, and large hail. And the ones in Ontario are already happening there. So those are already happening. So let's see. And this is like Monday at 5 p.m. So like this evening, they have some isolated thunderstorms in parts of Alberta and Quebec there. No, Alberta no, that's Ontario, sorry. Ontario and Quebec. So be aware, because we had a line of storms crossing through this morning in southern Ontario. That's still happening now. So that's like the main initial threat, and then we have more pop-up storms later. So for tomorrow here, let's see. So this Monday night, so this is tonight into tomorrow, because that storm system from the U.S. will move east and potentially affect Canada too. So between today and tomorrow, like through the night, have a severe possible in parts of southern Ontario, parts of Quebec, southern and southeastern Quebec, and those areas, and a general risk of thunderstorms through Ontario, Quebec, and going into New Brunswick. So be aware. And this is for Tuesday, for tomorrow. They have some severe possible in parts of southern Ontario, southern Quebec, and New Brunswick and eastern Quebec there, going into some other areas. And a big general risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow. So be aware. And then after this storm system leaves, we'll get some drier, fresh air behind this, helping to lower the humidity and everything. So this is by Wednesday. So let's see another one from the her here. Let's see if I can get a longer one. So wait. So okay, so this is the 12Z from today. So this is different. It's starting in Iowa, but it will start in Wisconsin there. So I just brought you this one to show you what will happen after. So it has by tonight and tomorrow the storms moving to Ontario there and affecting Quebec in those areas. By tomorrow afternoon shows some storms in Quebec, some in New Brunswick, going into the northeast and some other areas too. So, and then we'll likely have the other severe weather event tomorrow. So it shows by tomorrow evening a lot of storms possible in like Oklahoma, Kansas, even southern Illinois and Kentucky and Indiana, in those areas. So this is for tomorrow. But don't forget today that, so wait, so this was the latest run, it's in progress. So let's see what it has. So it has the storms like starting in Iowa and going to Illinois, but the past one showed it starting in Wisconsin there. But this is the latest one here. It shows a little bit weaker than the last one, but definitely some powerful damaging winds. But the last one was like this. It had the storm starting in Wisconsin going to Illinois, really powerful there. So be aware, stay safe from the storms and everything, and, and warn others. So let's just see a quick rainfall forecast for the Caribbean here. So let's see the rainfall accumulation for the next 3 days. We might have more rain in the Lesser Antilles there, more rain in Central America, Costa Rica, Panama, more in parts of Nicaragua, Honduras and those areas, in Cuba too, and some showers possible in the Bahamas the next 3 days, and the Dominican Republic, some storms too, and in Mexico from the monsoon and all the storms there. And then in the next five days shows more for Costa Rica, Panama, and a little bit more in the Lesser Antilles. So yeah, Trinidad and Tobago too shows more parts of Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, and some other areas. And it even shows more in Belize and Guatemala in the next 5 days. In Mexico, some areas of more, and Nicaragua too. And let's see the rainfall map here. So this today we have some rain there in the Atlantic, and let's see, maybe some showers affecting Barbados these days, the Northeastern Caribbean too, by tomorrow, parts of the Lesser Antilles, and then by Wednesday still some showers there, it shows. The Thursday a little bit less, but still some showers. By Friday a little bit more in some areas. And let's see if for these areas here, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, some thunderstorms in like southern Central America, some showers passing by Jamaica, Cuba too, maybe some storms in the Dominican Republic. And it even shows like Friday lots of rain around the Turks and Caicos and southern Bahamas. This is just a run, it will change, but be aware. Let's see, more summer storms in parts of Central America, Mexico, more rains. Yeah, and this is it. So thanks for watching and stay safe.